Islam Moorish. Yeah, I just wanted to do a video dealing with reparations. I've been, looking at different videos throughout the cosmos and throughout the physical realm. And I've seen this whole reparations thing, or AKA the karmic debt to be paid for the wrongs done to people's ancestors and family, and basically how that works in a municipal corporation, corporate construct paradigm. If you've seen recently so-called gay marriage couples were given reparations. Now, short little background on this. If you say you got married and you were a same-sex couple, and you're supposed to get certain benefits for being married, tax cuts, because you go from you just being a single trust into a joint stock trust with you and whoever, whatever person you're conjoining business with. So that's basically what a real marriage is. Like you hear the terms parent corporation, sister corporation, brother corporation. Now when it comes to them coming together and joining, they call it a union. They call it what else do they call it? A partnership. So literally when they conjoin corporations together, or businesses or companies, that's looked at as a marriage in law. Then whatever's birthed out of those two corporations coming together and making one big corporation, you get subsidiaries called brother corporations, sister corporations. The parent corporation would be the first one. See? So us having parents or parents, par would be a land. Well, like how you get parcel, you get derive land from par, the word PAR. Like when you go to when you look at a golf game and they say he has a good par, or he's trying to be under par. It's how long did you take to clear the holes on the land. So it's talking about land, parcel, land. Another way to prove that, if you take the look at the word park, take P-A-R-K. P-A-R is the land. Park is the condition of the land. So anyway. So just to let you know that the way they marry in so-called Christianity is literally making the two people into corporations or businesses, and then the male corporation takes control of the woman corporation and puts his name on her, thus taking her ownership over her and everything that she produces. So imagine a man buys a truck, a Mack truck, and puts all his merchandise on the back of the Mack truck. All that merchandise that comes off has to be signed by whoever receives it, and it has to be signed by him as the manifester and a trafficker of this product. What if the product was a human? Then that would ensue human trafficking done by the ignorance or the incompetence of the host, being the so-called parent company. So that means when we have babies in their hospitals, like you go to Mercy Wellness to have a so-called baby, a child, your own child. The first thing you got to do before the child is given to you is sign the baby's rights away and to the corporation. And you basically have to become, as the mother, the informant. The dad is the witness that you informed on this child's subjugation to a corporation. And we can go through all the terms of like being pregnant and birthing, like birth, and how birth is really a dock. When a boat pulls up to a dock, how a conveyance is a transfer of a deed, and but conceiving it has to do with shipping goods and goods that come off the ship. Manifesting has to do with goods that come off the ship and the paper written for those goods to be put on and put off. But the thing is that's all good and dandy. The thing is that humans aren't goods. So to go back to the reparations point is you see that par is land. So like anything as far as parents and all that type of stuff, it's when you get to a marriage or whatever, you have corporations conjoining with each other, supposed to be getting benefits. So when it comes to the same-sex couples, they weren't given all those benefits for all those years because they weren't allowed. Or so once they got permission from the corporation to conjoin their companies with the same-sex corporation, then they would give you all the finances or benefits from the years prior where you weren't receiving it due to you being ineligible because of the type of partnership you were ensuing. Now the partnership is recognized, so people are getting their money back for anything that they were denied. Basically, it's like a rights to reparation type thing. So, yeah, because this goes deep, because there's levels of how this even works, like how this even becomes a reality. And y'all gonna love how it becomes a reality. But so we got the reparations for the gay marriage thing, and then you also could look up reparations for the Caribbeans in 2018. So-called Caribbean corporations received their reparations for transatlantic slave trade. So this is a double interesting point and topic, because if they received reparations for the transatlantic slave trade, that means that all these colored, black, Negro folks trying to get it up here in the northern region of the Americas, they're wasting their time and they're doing themselves an injustice furthermore, because the reparation has already been given out to de facto companies being part of the so-called Caribbean, El Salvador, Dominica, these companies. So when you look it up, it's like a couple $1 million, but the way they divvy it is that they say that the majority of slaves were taken to the Southern America part, specifically Hispaniola, they call it, Haiti, and Puerto Rico. So, you know, the whole thing about that is that, again, if people from up here are asking for reparations, there was only 300,000 people, the so-called 300,000 people that came from the total number of slaves that came up to the northern region of Americas. So are all of us supposedly claiming reparations for the 300,000 people that came here? It's not going to be a lot of money, I'll tell you that right now. Secondly, when you look at down South America, there's a known history that people don't like to talk about, or are forced to not talk about because of our education, the lack thereof. We don't know anything about the dark-skinned people that own dark-skinned people and pale people in this so-called slave trade, and what the slave trade was even about. If you have a barbary slave trade before time where Christians were being transported around the world like mad cow disease. Everything was going everywhere. So if you understand the original Christian in modern day sense, like when you see a pale person or a European person and relate that to Christian, you're talking about a Circassian. Circassians are not what you look at today as a Christian. They wore turbans and everything, so they would be like a Muslim branch of so-called European. It's not the same. So these people worked as servants for the Moors and serfs. Servants and serfs aren't the same as slave. Servants and serfs are skilled laborers, so they have skills. It's just that they don't have any royal or bloodline connection that they recognize. They lost it. They forgot who they were because of a war, because of what. So that is looked at as dishonor in the ancient times. It still is today. It's just that, people aren't really aware of like the nature of like the deceit that's going on. So I'm gonna make a second one because there's always something going on. So I'll be right back.